Okay, so now we will create instances of client connection and server connection, and then we will try to communicate the data and see if everything works properly. So first we have to import the client class into our program. So we can import it using from core.connection. We can say import server connection, and then we can call if name equals to main. Okay, so now we can call this function or call this constructor. So we can say client connection, and then we can store it in a variable called my socket or server socket, whatever you like to call it. Then we have to provide the IP address and port. So I'm going to use my socket dot create connection, and then I'm going to pass the IP. So since I want to use my local IP because it's a server, I'm going to pass empty strings, and then I'm going to pass the port number, which is 8080. Okay, then we have to listen for incoming connection. So we can call the listen function, and then we have to call the accept function because once we are listening we have to accept connections. So I'm going to call my socket dot accept connection, and this is going to return a new connection called my connection, and it is also going to return the client address, but I'm going to ignore it because I don't really need it. And once we have it, we can simply send the data. So I can say mycon.send or my socket.send data. Note that if you go to the connection, you can see that send data is using client connection to send the data, not the socket, which is this one. So this is just an instance of server, and then we have to pass the data. So I can say hi, this is server, and similarly we can check if we can receive properly or not. So we can say my socket dot receive data, and then I'm going to print it. The last step is we have to close this connection. So I didn't really define the function here, but what I can do is I can say my connection dot close, and similarly I can call my socket dot close. No, I didn't define it, so my connection dot close should work. And now we will go to the client side and do the same process here. So I'm going to copy something. Okay, so let's just copy this one. So first we have to import it. So I can say from core.connection import client connection, and then I'm going to paste this line. Then we have to create the client instance. So I can say my socket equals to client connection, and then we can connect. So it should be socket my socket. Now I want to connect it, so I can say connect, then provide the arguments. So the server IP is 192.168.0.32, and the port would be 8080. And then since we are sending data from the server, we have to receive data here. So I am going to say my socket dot receive data, and first I am going to print it, and then it should be print, and then I'm going to send data from my client to the server. So I'm going to call my socket dot send data, and hi, this is client. So that's it, our programs are complete. So now we have to simply run it. So I'm going to call python main server.py. Now it's waiting for incoming connections, and if I go here and run python main client.py, so what is the issue here? Cannot concatenate string. Okay, so I made a small mistake here. So this client is on line 23. So this port is the string, this port is int, but I wrote it as a string, so I have to first typecast it. So now it should work. And if I try it again, so now you can say that it says hi, this is server. And similarly, if I go to the victim or hacker machine, you can see that it says hi, this is a client. So we have successfully established connection between both the devices. So in next lecture we'll start building our modules and proceed further.